Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Games I Speak. I'm Gio,
And I'm Josie.
and today we have some cool stuff to cover. This week was relatively slow, though, I believe. Would you say that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, Now there was one cool, well, there's one potential story I wanted to cover, but it just doesn't make sense. So everyone watching, they're releasing some Final Fantasy VII remake news today. So after we do this podcast, I'm gonna go try to find out what that is because I'm hyped for that game.
Maybe we should have recorded this after that.
Nah, it's cool, man. All right. So first up, we have some other Final Fantasy news. All right. So this is an article on the official Square Enix blog, and it just kind of details 10 things about Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Now, I gotta say, this trailer was incredible. Did you feel that way too?
So, in general, the trailers are incredible
Yeah.
for Final Fantasy XIV, but I still think my favorite trailer is Heaven's Word, but only because I'm a huge fan of Dragoons.
Hmm.
But like most of the time, the trailers are incredible. Like, have you seen the Stormblood trailer and the Shadowbringers trailer? Like all these trailers are masterfully done, and they always have hype music. The music is always amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I wouldn't have guessed that grunge music would go so well with Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so let's. So one of the first big pieces of news is that Final Fantasy XIV Online is coming to the PS5 in April. Now, before the show started, you were telling me that you're going to be doing that, right? You're going to be playing on your PS5 when it comes out.
So last night, funny enough, I just started a new job, a new workplace, and the place that I work at, there's a lot of fans of Final Fantasy XIV,
Hmm.
and it got me hyped because I actually haven't touched Final Fantasy XIV since Stormblood, and that was the expansion 2 expansions ago. So there's been Stormblood, and then Shadowbringers, and now Endwalker. So Endwalker and Shadowbringers, pardon. So, anyways, Stormblood, and I haven't gone back, and the reason being is just I haven't made the time. I really haven't made the time, and I've just felt like maybe an MMO wasn't a good place to be at the point in my life I was during the situation with the
Yeah,
C virus.
yeah.
I like saying C virus because it just reminds me of Resident Evil. Anyways, so I went ahead and I actually finally, because like my coworkers are all hyped for it and we're just talking about it, like I finally downloaded it last night. And I downloaded it on my PS5. So you're capable of playing Final Fantasy XIV right now on your PS5.
Okay, it's just
And
not the optimized PS5 version.
correct,
Okay,
correct.
but it's
So,
still probably going to run faster.
oh, it runs incredibly fast and it loads incredibly fast.
Okay.
And I downloaded the client and all the information that I needed from the base game all the way up to Shadowbringers in with less than half an hour. So it was all really fast. I remember taking hours to do something like that. But that was like PS3 days.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and 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 here's the thing, like, if any of the older players like played the game on PS3, because I'm a console guy, so I played it mostly on the consoles, but I played it on PS3. The leap from PS3 to PS4 was astronomical. Like, everything loaded better. There was less issues in terms of frame rates, but I mean those issues are still there. Playing on the PS5, just for the little bit that I did last night, and still playing the PS4 version, it looks incredible. It looks fantastic. It ran incredibly smooth. Um, and I don't know if it has to do with just the PS5's power, kind of like brute forcing this amazingness on my screen. But
Yeah.
it runs like a charm, and I highly suggest it. I'm excited to see what improvements they'll be bringing to the PS5 when the beta hits.
Okay. So I played it like right when it came out, and I thought it was beautiful. But you know me, I'm a WoW player.
Yes.
So for me, I guess it didn't click. But I mean, dude, if you have a good time, just if you're like having a blast, let me know. I mean, I'd be willing to like, pay for like a month and try it out. So
Rock on. Nah, nah. We still need to play Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer.
yes, yeah. All right. So let me kind of go through here. Um, so the Sage, I guess is a new job.
New healer class.
It's a new healer class. Let's see. New areas, I guess. This is the city of Radzatan. I don't know how to say
Mm-mm.
that, but it looks pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of like the trolls in uh, World of Warcraft, Zandalar, I believe it's called.
Definitely feeling like that Middle Eastern, like kind of like Turkish
Yeah.
feel to it.
Multiple new dungeons. The level cap is going up from 80 to 90.
Yep. I
Um,
literally opened up my character last night after not playing since September 2019, and my characters, I have two level 70 characters, and I was just like, oh man, I've got work to do.
yeah. Um, okay, there's a new alliance raid. Um, and you can become a homeowner in Ishgard.
Awesome. Ishgard
Um,
was the new location that opened up in Heaven's Word.
okay, so let's see. There's a
Ooh,
new tribe,
cool.
Arkasodara. They
Honestly,
look like
they
elephants.
here's the thing. They kind of look like something that you'd find in Star Wars and like the Star Wars prequels. They look like
Yeah.
a mixture of like what's his name? That Otto dude from the first Phantom Menace,
Hmm.
or that blue piano dude from the A New Hope, or was it A New Hope?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It does look
Yeah,
like a Star Wars character.
yeah.
um, and funny enough, World of Warcraft has some kind of like big blue characters. I forget the name of the race. I've never played them. They're Alliance.
Cool.
But yeah, it just seems like something fashionable in RPGs. And then it says there's also new gear, crafting system, expanded armory chest capacity, new gold saucer content, and new data center travel system, and much more. So yeah, I mean, I think the game is kind of in its probably it's in its golden years right now.
Oh yeah, no, it's fantastic, and it's not lacking for content. And the thing is that they really try to make it easier for newcomers because there's a lot of kind of I'm going to say onboarding content in order to see the original story and whatnot. And they actually have you have to pay for it. It's a service that you have to pay for, but a service that allows you to fast track and
Hmm.
to get into the new content sooner.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah.
WoW has that too. They have leveling coins,
Mm,
and it allows you. It doesn't allow you to level to the max. It allows you to level to the stage before the max. So in this case, it would be like you could level up to 80.
cool.
Yeah. Um, okay, cool. Yeah. So, yeah, let me know how you like Endwalker, and if it has staying power, I'd be willing to give it a shot.
Well, Endwalker's not out yet, so I mean, I can
Or
just let you know
yeah.
how I'm enjoying the game as it is on
Okay.
PS5.
Yeah.
Maybe an update next week.
Yeah. Okay. So next up, Street Fighter V Winter Update. So they had a presentation on this yesterday, I believe, or
Yes.
the day before. I can't remember. But essentially, so for those that don't know, Street Fighter V has been out a while now. I think it's been out for around 6 years. Um, and the game was kind of
It had a
I wa-
rocky start.
it had a rocky start, but like the game was like an homage to older games where it was a more streamlined combat system that allowed for more mental games instead of execution. But it made the mental game so severe that if you just made one mistake, I mean, you could lose like half your health or something. Like
The
you could die.
punishment was dire.
The consequences are dire for guessing wrong in this game. So, the and also when it was kind of like created, it was still being run by like some of the older generation of Capcom, Ono and stuff. And I'm not. I thought they. I think they're legends, but now the game has been turned over to the newer generation at Capcom, and so they're doing things a little bit different. So now they're releasing Dan. Now, he doesn't look like a joke character anymore. He looks like a solid character with like lots of mix-ups. And this fireball here can even beat Ryu's super fireball.
What?
Yeah, it has more hit points than Ryu's. His ultra does.
Okay.
So he can throw his ultra and this will go through it. So that's pretty crazy. He has full invincibility on his Shoryuken, and yeah, his projectile has more hits. So yeah, he doesn't seem like a joke character anymore. He seems like he might actually be viable, but we won't know until February 22nd. So, all right, Rose, she's making an appearance again. So she's a zoning character. Now, in the video, they showed that they're using motion capture for her animations.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's a new generation of, Capcom developers. So they're doing things more up to speed now, I guess. So she might look and feel different than some of the other characters, just because of the. I don't know if they did motion capture on the older characters. So, yeah, and she looks to be very similar to how she used to be. Not in 4, but before, I think, Alpha 3, where she's like a very strong footsie character. And then, yeah, she has her soul satellite. Okay, so there's a new level. This level, I think, looks pretty nice. And they're adding something called a V shift. Now, when I see things like this, I have to play it to kind of get like a grasp of what it actually is.
Yes.
But essentially, a V shift is a new defensive mechanic. So if someone is coming up on you and they're like bullying you, you can now do a V shift and it'll give you full invincibility to attacks, throws, and projectiles for a short amount of time. So it's like a get out of jail free card, right?
Okay.
And it uses, where does it say? It says it uses, if you use it openly with no attacks, you'll lose a full bar of V gauge. And I think it uses a bar. Okay, yeah.
That makes
so
sense.
it uses a bar of V gauge. All right. So it's different from the reversal, where a reversal can only be used, I believe, when you're in like block stun. So in this case, if someone's mixing you up and you realize that you just got caught, you could probably do a V shift and counter it and get out. So this is like, I believe this is the answer that Capcom has come up with to the complaints that the game is just it favors offense too much. You know what I mean? Like, there's too much guessing, there's too much punishment for one bad guess when you're on defense. So this is going to kind of level the playing field some more. So,
Okay.
yeah, I think we're going to see a whole new dynamic. The tier system's probably going to change. Certain characters that were bad might now become better. Certain characters that were really powerful might become more mid-level. So, yeah, it could pretty much change the whole dynamic of the game. So it can't be understated how important this move is.
How often have you been playing Street Fighter V?
I mean, I play every patch, major patch.
Are there any games, and this is just a general question, are there any fighting games that you're currently enjoying?
Yeah, so actually, that is a good question. because I'm playing a game called Mordau, and while it's not accepted by the FGC, they're not interested in it because it's like a medieval, like, knights type game.
Yes.
I do classify it as a fighting game because you're essentially just fighting each other with melee weapons,
But
and
is it one on one, or isn't it like PvP, like groups of PvP?
they have everything. They have one on one, they have 3 on 3, they have group battle, they have deathmatch.
Oh wow, okay.
So because of the fact that they have a dueling system and a ranking ladder, I do consider it a fighting game. And the only difference is, whereas like a 2D traditional or a 3D traditional, you're bound by the frame system of the game, right?
Yes.
Everybody's bound by the frame system of the game. Whereas Mordau, you're not. You can alter the speed, the acceleration. So you can accelerate attacks and you can decelerate attacks. And you can attack from almost any angle.
So it adds a layer of
It
strategy.
adds
Added layers of strategy for them.
yes, a massive layer of strategy, and it's much harder than a traditional fighting game
Cool.
because the mix-ups in that game are ridiculous. Like, you could have just somebody come up to you and be like, like over and over again until you bite, and then they'll chop your head off. So it's like, it's crazy. And then you could have someone come up to you and swing like this, and then go, and you'll block too soon, and then they'll chop your head off. So it's like the level of mind games in that game is
Ridiculous.
it's insane. Yeah. So I would like to see the FGC embrace it, but I don't think it's gonna happen. It's just too different from a traditional fighting game. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But I love it, and I feel like me playing that game has made me better in traditional fighting games because your reflexes needed in that game are crazy.
I thought you were gonna say it's made me a better person.
Oh no, it's made me a worse person for sure. All right. And then the last piece of news is they're adding a new character. And the character is called 11, and it's a mimic character. So it's kind of like Mokujin in Tekken. And there's a story behind it. 11, who is able to shapeshift into other life forms, was created by Gil's secret organization. So you pick 11, and then it morphs into a character.
How is this different than a random?
So yeah, it's essentially like a random, but um, you, there's different sounds. Obviously, it looks a little bit different, and here they say another. Where does it say? You'll notice characters sound a bit different. The color scheme, but yeah, it's pretty much like a random.
That sounds kind of lame, actually. If anything,
Yeah,
when you initially said it, I thought it was going to be. Wasn't there a character? I think I want to say it was Third Strike, but I feel like I'm completely wrong. Wasn't there a character where you could play different styles, and the styles, like the character itself, had multiple styles? Was it Seth?
yeah.
That's Street Fighter 4.
So Seth is like
An
a lot of
amalgamation
characters
of
in
different
one.
styles. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I was expecting out of
Well,
11.
they already got Seth, so
I know, but I was just I
yeah.
don't know. I was expecting a different way of doing it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like
There's Mokojin, but there's also who's the other one that's like Mokojin? It's not Kuma. Shoot. There's like two different like clone characters in Tekken, aren't there?
oh yeah, you're talking about the one in the boss lady in Tekken 5, I believe.
Yes, sir.
The one she like she's got like a like gothic like type body and she's kind of ethereal. Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
know what you're talking about. Yeah. Um yeah, so
because
it's
there's
definitely
different ways of
not.
treating it.
Yeah. But here's what I would like. The way I read the article was I thought that they were gonna say like you have the moves of one character and then the special moves of another character.
Something.
but I guess they can't do that because of the way that the character's body works. The animations work. You know what I mean? They would have to rewrite animations for every single character for every. They would have to make it work on the body of every single character, which is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
so yeah, I guess it's just a random character that's a little bit more unique. You know
You know who they should have brought back?
who?
Q.
Oh, uh, well, they have G.
Oh yeah.
They have
Yeah.
G.
I just haven't played in forever and a day. I actually don't own Street Fighter Five.
Yeah,
I kind of want to, but I mean, I loved Super Street Fighter 4.
they gave it away for free on the PS4. You didn't get it? Oh, okay. Yeah, they were giving it away for free, so
I
um,
missed out.
it's all good.
It's one of those things where like like you'll there'll be free games and you're like, oh yeah, I'll get that, and then
You
you
never
forget.
do.
Yeah, exactly. And then the next month comes in and you're like, dang it.
All right. Next up, this is kind of interesting. Warner Brothers receives criticism for patenting Shadow of Mordor's Nemesis System. So, do you know what the Nemesis System is?
So from what I understand, the Nemesis system was incorporated in the first one, Shadow of Mordor, obviously, and it's about how you will fight an enemy, and the enemy, if you defeat them, that they will come back later and recall the event where they lost, and they'll expound on that. Or if you fight an enemy and you lose, they'll go ahead and like they memorize or they remember, they recall the events that you have, and they're all off the fly as to how you progress in the game, whether you defeat or are defeated in turn.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's a system where the game remembers the player's actions and then uses it the enemies use it against you.
Yes.
That's essentially what it is.
I like it
So,
because I don't know if you're there's like a lot of supercuts
mhm.
where they'll show like an orc, and I think some of them have like Cockney accents. It's like, "Oi, I remember when you cut off me arm. You're
Or-
not gonna be lucky today."
yeah,
Some stupid stuff like that.
yeah, but it's
Anyways,
cool.
it's great. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Shadow Mordor is a fantastic game. I haven't played Shadow of War yet because I heard it was kind of
But I believe
hit
it
with some
also has
microtransactions.
the Nemesis system in it as well.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. But so here's the problem with this. They they patented it in a broad way. So let me see what it says. The patent covers a system featuring procedurally generated NPCs that exists in a
A
hierarchy.
hierarchy.
Hierarchy. I always say that wrong. And interact with and will remember the actions of the player. Any such system is now effectively the property of Warner Brothers Interactive. So lots of games do this. Lots of games do this. They do it in a different way, but lots of games make the enemy interact with the player, right?
Yeah, I don't understand how you could patent a dynamic system where the game recalls your actions and then reacts accordingly. Like
Exactly.
that doesn't make much sense to me. I mean, if that's the case, then how about story-based video games where your actions or your choices dictate how the game progresses? Something like Telltale's The Walking Dead, or even most recently Mass Effect's, the Legendary Edition.
Yeah,
You know,
it makes no sense. Like,
you had choices that would affect how future events would unfold.
yeah, like what if Microsoft tried to um, patent procedurally generated worlds? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a that's a very complex technology, right?
Yes.
But should they be allowed to patent it? Hell no, because other games have been using it and use it. So the Nemesis system, they patented it, but other games use the same concept in a different way. So I think
I just don't understand how to combat patents. Like, think
I
of
don't
the
either.
most recent game, Immortals,
Yeah.
Phoenix Rising,
Yes,
right?
that copies a lot of
Well, no. Not even in terms of the copying from like gameplay perspective, but in terms of naming. Like the reason why they changed their original name of Gods and Monsters was because it had monster in it. And Monster Energy Drink has a patent on monster.
Oh, so you can't even use the word monster?
In your title? I don't know. I don't know how that works.
So this is what I used to understand with gaming. You could copyright the story, you could copyright the art, you could copyright the characters, right? But a patent is different. A patent is like technology, right?
Okay.
So if they're patenting um, a
That's what I
certain
said was different.
yeah.
Sorry.
So, but here's also the other thing. How do they know you're implementing the code in the same way unless they get your code base? So does that mean that, like, let's say I wrote my own Nemesis system, right? But I called it something else and the code worked a totally different way, but the outcome was very similar. And Warner Brothers saw it and they're like, hey, we think you're using our Nemesis system. I'm like, hey, how can I use your Nemesis system? I don't have your code base. I had to write this code myself. So I don't think that would legally hold up in court because they would take me to court and then I would prove to them that my code is totally different than their code. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but that would require someone to not only, in your specific example, to be in that situation, but also have the funds and the time to duke it out in court with a
Exactly.
larger corporation like Warner Brothers.
And they might try to get a reprieve from the judge saying you can't release your game until this is settled, and they could keep you in court for years,
Exactly.
which is BS. BS.
Yeah.
So let's read what this gentleman here, Mike Bithell, says.
Hey, I got you. He's the developer behind John Wick Hex. I got you that
Yes.
game for Christmas.
Yep.
Did you even play it?
Not yet. No, not yet. I have
Of
a
course. No, I'm pretty sure you're going to start it tomorrow.
yeah. No, I'm playing Breath of the Wild right now. All right.
Really?
Yeah. All right. So
I'm proud of you for starting it up.
yeah. This says this is really gross, especially for a franchise that built its brilliant Nemesis system on top of a whole heap of mechanics replicated from other games, as all games do, because that's how culture and creativity works. Be a better neighbor, Warner Brothers. And I
Hey,
gotta
no,
say,
yeah, that sounds like
I
a really good sentiment. Yeah.
that sounds like a reasonable argument against. They're using other games systems. Why are they allowed to use other game systems? But then when they make something unique, they can say, no, 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 you guys can't use this. That seems very hypocritical. And honestly, I hope they don't ever sue anyone. But if they do have the gall to sue someone, I hope the judge throws it out, um, and then developers don't have to worry about this because it's a it sucks, man. You might have a good idea, and then this might scare you to not make your vision. You know.
Yeah. Like
Uh,
Cockney sounding orcs.
hey, I saw you lose to my brother last week.
Oi, you spit in my soup. I remember.
All
It's a
right.
terrible Cockney accent. I apologize.
Next up, this is kind of interesting. So the creator of Terraria, Andrew Spinks, had all of his had every Google account of his suspended. And apparently Terraria was set to come out on Google Stadia, and he was so furiated that he canceled it. He's like, I'm not bringing my game to you guys. You guys just screwed over my life. And so let me read this by him. I have absolutely not done anything to violate your terms of service. So I can take this no other way than you deciding to burn this bridge. Consider it burned. Terraria for Google Stadia is canceled. My company will no longer support any of your platforms moving forward. So, yeah, his accounts were all, I guess, banned on Google.
Was was any reason given? Well, he says right here, I absolutely have not done anything to violate your terms of service, so I can take this no other way than you
Yeah.
deciding to burn this bridge. Consider it
Well,
burned.
let's read these, okay?
No,
Uh,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
at Google, I guess this is the first one. At Google, my account has now been disabled for over 3 weeks. I still have no idea why, and after using every resource, I have to get this resolved. You have done nothing but given me the runaround. My phone has lost access to thousands of dollars of apps on Google Play. I had just bought Lord of the Rings 4K and can't finish. My
Oh,
Google Drive
snap.
data is completely gone. I can't access my YouTube channel. The worst of all is losing access to my Gmail address of over 15 years.
I disagree with him. The worst thing in there was literally not being able to finish Lord of the Rings 4K.
Dude, I mean, that would really screw over your life.
Yeah, I mean, Peter Jackson put a lot of work into that 4K transfer.
No, man, I'm talking about his email account, man. But yeah, it is funny how he brought up Lord of the Rings 4K.
I mean, I want that.
um, so do you? I mean, I can't blame the guy for being mad and canceling his game because it's almost like they kind of screwed him over, and now he just doesn't trust them to do business with them. You know what
I
I
think
mean?
he's well within his
I
right to
think
do
so too.
so, and it doesn't seem to be coming out of place of malice. It's more like principle.
Yeah.
So, so if he feels that this is the correct course of action, he can afford to do so. Like he doesn't mind not getting whatever revenue he could get from putting his game on another platform.
Yes.
More power to him. I back his play.
I back his
It's
play too.
I just wish Google wouldn't be quiet on the subject and maybe I mean it's on them to make good. So I hope that they do.
Yeah. It's on
I mean
them to say why. Why did they do it?
I mean it could be something as simple as an error.
Yeah.
An error somewhere because I think didn't something happen recently to Ninja as well? The same situation or a similar situation where he was locked out of multiple Google accounts.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But it's very disconcerting that we invest all this time and parts of ourselves into these free platforms, and they're given to us, and they say, "Hey, here you go." But if we could lose it at any moment, and we lose access to tons of stuff, I have a huge Google movies library. I have like over 50 movies. That's a lot of money. And if I just lost it one day, I would be irate as well. And if I had a game coming out to a Google platform, I would have to question it because I could be like, oh my God, like, what if they decide to just kick my game off one day? You know what I mean? Like, that, I would start thinking things that way. So I can't blame them at all.
Well, I mean, doesn't that kind of key back into our stance on physical versus digital
Yes.
and the argument of ownership versus rights to access a property?
Yeah. So you and me harp on this all the time. I don't own the movies in my Google library. I'm just given a license to use them.
Correct.
And they can be taken away whenever the company feels the need. So, yes, ownership is a huge thing, but people are giving up their ownership rights, man.
Yeah, I'm not one of them.
I'm not one either, but they're doing it.
You have this 50 movie library,
I
and
know.
while I have like hundreds of Blu-rays and DVDs.
I don't get me wrong, I have over 300 DVDs.
Yeah, yeah.
But
No, I know.
lately,
I've
yeah,
seen that spine,
yeah.
that folder.
Lately I just don't have the
You're thinking about space.
I'm thinking about space, yeah. So I
Yeah,
already have a
because
solid collection physical. And if everything blew up one day, I could still play some DVDs. But, you know, I just don't have the room to buy them now. So, but yeah,
yeah.
I hope he gets this settled. I hope they apologize to him. I mean, I don't know what to say. It just seems pretty crappy, man.
Yeah, but I would suggest to buy the 4K Lord of the Rings physical.
Yes,
That's what
which
I would. That's what I would do because honestly, I'm not going to buy a 4K movie streaming. I just find that to be silly
yeah, you're not going to get
because
the 4K
you're
quality.
you're at the mercy of the internet gods.
Well,
Granted, depending on where you're located, it could be better or worse. But currently, I'm not in the best place. We've
yeah,
we've discussed this.
yeah.
So I want the highest fidelity possible, and the best way you can do that, sound, video, is by having physical.
Yes, there is no streaming platform that has anywhere near the audio quality of just a regular old compact disc.
I think we should just do a GoFundMe for him and get him Lord of the Rings 4K. I mean, it's like $100 something. It's not a small expense.
Well, I last I heard, I think his game has made over $20 million. So I
I
think.
mean, let's just help the brother out.
All right. So yeah, I mean, I have to side with him. If companies are allowed to decide who they do business with, we can do that too.
I
So
mean, I mean, we've said this multiple times, and we'll be saying it multiple times again. Vote with your dollar.
yes,
Vote with your wallet.
yeah. And I want to say this: if you're afraid that you might lose your Gmail, your Google Drive, whatever, all that stuff, there are open source options. Yes, they're a lot of work. You have to put time and energy. I run my own suite of tool. I run my own suite of tools on Amazon AWS for Games I Beat. So I have my own open source like web platform that I can use anywhere. Like I can connect on my computer. I can connect on my phone. I can write articles and send them to myself. So it is possible. It's just a lot of work. It's a lot of effort.
Or you could be like me and just have a working MySpace account.
So
you're like, that's impossible.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Nothing's impossible.
so yeah, there's options. They're a lot more effort, and they're not as nice. But
But at least you're securing your information,
yes, at
which
least
is
yeah,
which your information is power, is money.
yes, yeah. Imagine if you're an author and you decide to write a book on Google
Google
Drive.
Docs.
Yeah, Google Docs, and then they lock your account out, and you've been working on that book for 7 years.
Oof,
That would
that would
be
be
yeah, that would be
that'd be
painful.
vicious.
All right, next up, Cyberpunk 2077, CD Projekt Red Studio. Hacked data has reportedly been sold for $7 million. That's what I remember reading. So on Tuesday, CDPR disclosed that it had been the victim of a ransomware attack in which hackers had collected certain data from the company. Now, from what I've heard, it's like all kinds of data, like employee data, like HR data, like code, the Witcher 3 code, uh, Gwent code, Cyberpunk 2077 code. I mean, this is valuable, valuable information.
It's their IP.
It's their IP.
IPs, pardon, plural.
Yeah. And it said it posted a ransom note from the hackers in which they claimed to have access to source code from the studio's most popular games, as well as integral or internal legal, HR, and financial documents. CDPR said it would not give to the demands or negotiate with the hackers, even if that meant the stolen data would be circulating online. So here we go. Just in, CD Projekt Red auction is closed. Hackers auctioned off stolen source code for the Red engine and CDPR game releases, and have just announced that a satisfying offer from an outside forum was received with the condition of no further distribution or selling. So they paid around $7 million, and you got to trust the hackers that they're just going to never give it away. I mean, that's stupid.
Here's the thing: can't that money be traced?
Well, they probably use cryptocurrency. So
Duh.
let's look at this. Kella previously reported that the starting price for the auction was 1 million with a buy it now price of 7 million. These terms were subsequently verified by VX Underground 2.
Was this on eBay? I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. That was a joke. That was a joke.
So yeah,
free shipping.
yeah, free shipping. So yeah, I mean, whew, that's a look. We're all mad at CD Projekt Red, but this sucks for them. I'm not.
Eh. I mean, well, here. I think the there is reason to be mad at CD Projekt Red.
Yeah.
They did a scummy business practice in out of years of doing actually kind customer consumer centric business practices.
Yes.
And so, gamers do have long memories, but gamers are also capable of forgiving.
Yes. Like No Man's Sky.
Yeah, like No Man's Sky, Final Fantasy XIV, which we just
Yes.
spoke about,
They
which
had to
had a
remake the
horrendous
game.
launch.
It was so bad.
Correct. So, I don't think any company deserves this kind of treatment.
No, I don't think so either.
That being said, this is the most cyberpunk thing that could have happened to them.
Yes. It's almost as if they foretold
it's insane. Yeah, exactly.
So
but I hope the doxing doesn't occur for their employees.
No.
And
I'm firmly against any type of doxing.
But who is this entity? Is like the thing that gets me now I'm thinking about conspiracy theories is this actually Cyberpunk paying for their own code back?
Well, that's what
and
people
they
think.
just don't want to admit it.
Yeah, that's what
Oh,
people
really?
think.
Oh, okay. I haven't really read anything about this. Just FYI.
Okay.
So if I'm saying anything that sounds similar to what I apologize.
Shit. Maybe it was Elon Musk.
Maybe he wants to use the Cyberpunk code for his SpaceX program.
He said that Cyberpunk 2077 will be playable in a cyber truck. That's what he said. And he also
and this is the way he's going about doing it.
And his company is also trying to buy $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin.
Why?
Because he believes in it as an investment.
He believes that Bitcoin is the future.
Yeah. So yeah,
what do you think? What do you think about the story? What do you think about what's going on with CD Projekt Red?
So I think that first of all, I have to wonder if this was like a group of hackers that were very angry about Cyberpunk 2077 and they just sought revenge. I have to, because a lot of the times when hackers strike, it's for revenge.
Yes.
They feel slighted over something and they wanna get back at you. And so I can't help but wonder if this is what it is. Or I can't help but wonder if maybe someone disgruntled in the company who maybe they put countless hours in Cyberpunk and just to see the company abuse it and treat it like they did, wanted to screw over CD Projekt Red.
That was a talking point, or what's it called? A rumor of what happened with Last of Us 2. It was rumored that someone within the company or maybe a contractor that had access to the code was behind the leaks.
Yeah,
and they were disgruntled that they kept pushing the game back.
Yeah, no, I can totally see that. Either one. Now I will just.
I think it's proven false, but I'm just saying it's interesting that similar rumors.
Well, I just made that rumor up. I'm sure someone else already had the same thought, but don't come at me and say, "Oh my God, Gio said that it was an insider." I'm saying potential motives. That's all I'm talking about is potential motives.
Gotcha.
Now it's much easier. The insider threat is much more prevalent and much easier than an outside hacker. An outside hacker has to go through much more security, much more steps. But look at Nintendo. Look how much they've been getting hacked lately.
They've been leaking like crazy.
Yeah, people have been hacking
Every
into
major
their FTP servers.
every major release has been seeing a leak.
Yeah. So is it an insider or have hackers just found a backdoor into their servers? I don't know. I'm just speculating here, but um, it is interesting that somebody just bought it outright for 7 million. It is very
Yes.
interesting.
Yes.
um, but yeah, I mean, dude, I don't know, man. It's crazy. I try to avoid um, sketchy websites because of ransomware. I mean, that stuff.
I only go to sketchy websites.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I like to live dangerously.
Well, I hope you're on a Linux computer.
I'm on a typewriter, bro.
Okay.
But in terms of CD Projekt Red, what does this mean for them? Like, does this take the roadmap that they've had? Does it push things back in terms of, whatever DLC and improvements and stability fixes that they've been making for Cyberpunk 2077? Like, what does that mean to them
I don't think
or
so.
them?
If I was CD Projekt Red, I would say, look, we have to work harder now. We have to work harder now. We have to do better now um, because our reputation is on the line, and
Yes.
people are obviously hostile towards us. They're coming after us. The only way we can make this right is to just fix the game, and the next game we come out with, release it when it's done.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is it still not available on the PlayStation Network?
Um, yeah, some people. I saw some comments. Some people are like, "I still can't buy the game." So I don't know. I'm not. I'm gonna say I don't know, but I would say it's very possible that it's still not available on the PlayStation Network. It's
Wow.
available on Xbox now, right?
It's always been available
Okay.
on Xbox.
Okay.
It's always been it wasn't taken away from. I mean, because Sony took it down.
Yeah.
It was Sony themselves. So that in and of itself is cause for concern, and I could see anger from some people. But to take that anger and really be malevolent and hack them and steal their code, no.
Yeah. I mean, look, the way ransomware works, I'm gonna explain it to people. You don't. You can be targeted, but they put out a wide net sometimes. Yes, they can target specific people, but they can put out a wide net and say, "Hey, we're
They're
gonna,
phishing,
yeah, phishing. We're gonna have
not PH phishing,
no.
just phishing.
It's more
Phishing.
of it's a Trojan horse. So they can say, look, we're gonna put this up. We're gonna put this website up, right? And we're gonna promise this, or we're gonna send out this email. And we're gonna promise this. And if the user downloads the Trojan horse,
Get 10 free months of Google Stadia.
something like that,
That was
they
a joke.
get some free subway cards. I don't know. Um, they they then infect the system and then they lock everything. Police stations have had this happen to them. They've had to buy back their systems. I mean, the government has been
Yes.
captured by ransomware. So it's like nobody is above getting ransomware. Anyone can get it. So just have a firewall up at all times. Don't click on suspicious links. I mean, I don't know.
Be safe.
Yeah, maybe it could have also just been an employee who just clicked a dumb link. You know what I mean? It could have also been that. So, all right. Next up, Kingdom Hearts series is coming to PC via Epic Game Store. So let's kind of go over this.
Wait a second. So I want to say a little anecdote real quick.
Okay.
Scroll up though. Get rid of this ad. Get rid of all the ads, please. So what happens is that I don't know if you noticed, but Josie, that's me, has a headset. And this headset, I got it from a local computer store. And the guy that assisted me, his name's Ben.
Hmm.
Shout out to Ben. Thank you. Really enjoying the headset. Uh, we bonded over Kingdom Hearts. And
Oh,
he was
interesting.
talking. He was talking about how he didn't have like a PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation system in order to play them, and his eyes lit up when I told him the news that Kingdom Hearts is coming to PC.
Yes. Yes.
So awesome news,
Awesome
very
news.
cool.
But there's just one thing I want to point out. Okay.
Okay.
This is awesome news because there's a lot of people who wanted to play Kingdom Hearts but haven't been able to. So
Yes.
this is for you. All right. This is for you. Okay. So this is going to include Kingdom Hearts 3, Melody of Memory, 1.5, 2.5, and 2.8 compilations all together. This represents just about every game in the series. So we're gonna go down here. Oh yeah, see, look, this is Games Beat. They call it Games Beat. We're Games I Beat, but their website's called Venture Beat. It's pretty funny.
Oh, so this is the games part of their beat.
Yeah. So from what I understand, it's gonna cost like
Oh, they're coming out at full price.
yes, they're gonna. It's the full thing. I think it's gonna be around $140 or something like that. Is that right? Something like that, right?
Something crazy
Okay.
because they're not all packaged together. And in all fairness, this is as much as they cost digitally
Oh yeah. Okay.
on the digital platforms where the game is available, like PlayStation Network. I think I can double check, but aside from sales, for the most part, the MSRP is the same MSRP that these PC versions are going to be sold at.
Okay.
Unlike the physical versions, which you can get for pretty cheap, specifically for the PlayStation.
Okay. Now I want to say this for everyone out there fretting about the cost. Don't worry because PC games almost always go on sale. So
Exactly.
eventually it's going to go on sale. But I wanted to also say that you could probably buy a used PS4 and the all-in-one collection for the same price. Maybe.
So
I don't know.
currently, the all-in-one collection, just so everyone knows, the all-in-one collection includes Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5, and 2.8, and then 3. That's all the games except for the most recent one, which is Melody of Memory.
But yeah, but
And
that's a rhythm game. That's not really
it's still It's still important story based.
okay.
It's like the extra story content after Kingdom Hearts 3.
Okay.
So all-in-one collection currently, as of today, February 13th, is on sale at the Square Enix website for $29.99.
Okay, perfect.
Just so you know, because Square Enix is currently doing a Valentine's Day sale.
So let's look at let's go to eBay real quick and see how much a used PS4 is.
But I mean, and I'm going to bring up my friend who I just made, Ben,
Mm-hmm.
from the store that I went to. He doesn't have a PS4 because he got rid of his PS4 because he's banking on getting a PS5. And he currently
Okay.
has been able to get a PS5. So, I mean,
Well,
people
my theory's
don't
wrong
want to.
anyways. They're too expensive still.
Well, the reason I was going to say that is expensive is because the PS4 is out of production. They're no longer
Oh,
making PS4s.
okay.
So if anything, the prices on PS4s is actually going up steadily until it goes up, dramatically
Mm-hmm.
because they're not available anywhere.
Okay.
You can't get a new you can barely get a new PS4. They're focused on PS5 production, and even then they're not meeting demand.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, like I said, don't worry if you can't afford the games now because the prices they're going to go down. PC games, they always have Epic Game Store has sales, and hell, they might end up giving away one of these games next year or something, So, but yeah, it's good. It's good finally that PC players, like strict PC players, can finally enjoy the Kingdom Hearts series.
One thing that you didn't say is that it is Epic Game Store exclusive
Yes.
for a timed period.
Oh, okay, okay. So it could come out on Steam later?
Yes.
Okay, if it comes on Steam, I'll probably buy one or two when they go on sale.
Yeah, no, they're fantastic. They're some of my favorite games. But
Um,
but then again, like I was with Kingdom Hearts from the jump.
yes, yeah. I mean, I still have my original Kingdom Hearts on PlayStation 2. So yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Uh, Next up, System Shock 2 Enhanced Edition gets a fully playable VR mode. So, have you ever played System Shock 2? All right, I'm gonna uh, I'm gonna read this real quick. All right, during the process of reverse engineering the missing libraries for System Shock 2, we had an opportunity to play around with the idea of creating a standalone VR version, says Kick in an interview. And we brought on a VR expert to look at the code or the COD and give us a brief idea of what kind of things we could do.
Yeah, it's beyond code. It's COD.
Yeah. So here's some screenshots. Let's look at these. Did you
Have you
ever
have
play
you have,
System Shock 2?
I literally was just going to ask you the same thing. I have not. I've only heard that it is practically the precursor to BioShock, and it's amazing. And what's
Yes.
her name? Shodan.
Uh-huh.
Shodan's an amazing antagonist.
So I played this game when I was a kid because I was a PC nerd growing up. Um,
Am I right by saying Shodan? Is that her name? I
I
forget.
don't remember, to be honest. I haven't played the game in a long time, even though
Fair.
I do own it on Steam, I believe. Um, so I could play it at any moment. Um, so
like the infinite number of games that you own.
so a good friend of mine, we grew up in the same apartment complex, and I had a PC, and I showed it to him one day, and he was like,
Bro.
he was like, "This is it. This is it. This is the truth." And
No games will get better after this.
yeah,
I love how I used to say that.
yeah,
It's like we've hit the peak.
yeah. So he was like, he begged his dad, "Dad, we got to get a PC. We got to get a PC." So it was just him, his dad, and his brother, and he did. I believe he wasn't born here, so for me, I was lucky because my dad was a programmer and my mom worked at a oil company, so I had access to a computer early,
Yes.
and so I showed it to him, and he had never had a computer yet, and this is the early '90s, so he was just hyped. So he begged his dad. His dad got him a computer, and he invited me over his house. First of all, I gave him internet. I showed him how to connect to the internet because back then they had free services like Net Zero and shit.
Yeah.
And so he hooked to the internet, and then he uncovered the whole world of Whereas. Do you remember Whereas?
No.
That was like the cracker community. I call it cracker, but they're like hackers. But instead of hacking, they take a game off a disk and then they reverse engineer it and turn it into like a downloadable program.
Oh.
So
Okay.
but they put it up all over the web with these puzzles, and they would let you download the game, but it was missing a necessary file or files. And to get those files, you had to solve a puzzle. And it was a two-part puzzle. There was a password, and then there was a location. Once you found the location of the file, you needed the password to download it. So, so my friend, very smart kid, figured out this whole scheme, right?
Yeah.
And I went over to his house one day. He's like, "Dude, you got to see this game. It's called System Shock 2." And so his dad had actually put the computer in one of those walk-in closets, and they set
Yes.
up like the first version of surround sound for a computer.
That's
And so
awesome.
they had the speakers behind you and then the speakers in front. And I'm sitting in his computer and he turns off the light, and I'm like, I get scared. I'm like, "Oh my God, this game is terrifying," right? So, yes, I would say this game is like the grandfather of like BioShock and Half-Life and games like that, right? And
Hmm.
he gave me a copy. Like he even got a burner and he was so grateful for me for like exposing him to computers and showing him how to set up his computer and giving him internet
Yes.
that until we graduated, this is, dude, I'm talking, this is in middle school. Until we graduated high school, he would come up to me about once a month and hand me a pack of games on disc that he would burn for me.
That's cool.
And
That's
so he
cool.
was like my game dealer. Like, I never had to play any computer games. He would just give them to me. He'd be like, "Hey George, I got this, this, and this." I'd be like, "Oh, let me try." So, but yeah, System Shock 2 is an important game for me, and it was an important game for him. So yeah, I would love to play it in VR. I would be scared though. It is a terrifying game. I don't know if the graphics will
Hold up.
translate. Yeah, I don't know if
It's like playing Doom in VR,
yeah,
and I'm talking about like old school Doom,
yeah,
like
um,
OG Doom, not the Doom VFR.
yeah. But yeah, it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. I would definitely play it. I have a Quest, so hopefully they will release it on Steam. All right. Next up, Guilty Gear Strive.
Oh, dude, this game looks so
Doesn't
awesome.
it? Doesn't
Yes,
it?
it
I
looks
mean, it
very,
looks
very
beautiful.
cool. Like honestly, like I have never gotten good at Guilty Gear. I don't think, I don't know, man. I want to.
Yeah, it's a hard game, but this one's gonna
It
be
is.
easier. This one's gonna be easier.
Yes, yes. I'm actually pretty excited for this.
Okay, so they have been releasing videos recently announcing new characters, and they're having an open beta, I believe, on the 19th and 20th.
Rock on.
Actually, let me look that up for you guys because I don't want to give.
And it's on the PS5 too.
Yeah.
I mean the open beta. That's what I'm saying.
Yep. Okay, here we go. Downloadable on February 17th for players who have pre-ordered the game digitally on PS4 and PS5. The Guilty Gear Strive open beta test will begin on February 18th, 7 p.m. Pacific time, and continue until February 21, 7 a.m. Pacific time, I assume. Okay, so yeah, for those of you that are really interested and want to be at the forefront of this game, you can pre-order it and get access to the open beta. So I'm just gonna
Pre-order from where?
PS4 and PS5.
Oh, I'm just saying, are you able to even pre-order the physicals? And is that also available, or is that just
No, it's said digital.
boom?
That's one of the downsides of always getting physical is you're not able to take part in the betas that are for purchasers.
Fair.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna. Okay, I got the. All right, so let's.
Are we okay? Are we okay to play this?
I'm just gonna.
God, this looks so good. And here's the thing, I do kind of miss the anime aesthetic,
Uh huh.
but it looks great still.
I'm not gonna play per se, but I'm gonna just pull up. Okay. Yeah. So look at this.
I like this new character, Kagoriyuki.
Yeah. Look at the animations, dude. Look how
Yeah.
smooth that is, man.
Oh yes.
And it look how dynamic the backgrounds are.
Like I still need to beat what's it called? Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yeah.
I still need to beat that, and I still need to beat what's it called? Grand Blue Fantasy Versus.
Yes, I did. I
Gosh.
did a review on that.
Yeah. No, I mean I bought it from your review. It was a good review.
Yeah, it's a fun game. It was a little bit too simplistic in the mechanics for me.
But I mean that's a good thing for. I know I understand what
It
you're
was
coming
designed
from,
for
but
a
it's a
more
good thing
casual player.
for. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For someone like myself who doesn't, I don't play fighting games to be competitive.
Hmm.
I play fighting games because I want to play them and just enjoy whatever story there
Hmm.
is, or be in that world. Like I remember, and this was before they really, really started putting a lot of narratives into fighting games. Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition. Like I was a kid in the Azores because I'm an Air Force brat,
Hmm.
and I barely had any friends. Like, and I was there with my Sega Genesis, just playing the crap out of Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition by myself and really enjoying it. And so like that's kind of like my foundation for fighting games and playing them by myself. So like I like to just go ahead and get into it, play it, enjoy the mechanics for what little I can, and play the story.
Yeah. No, I was the same way. I still have my childhood copy of Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition.
Yeah.
The title of that game though is a lot longer than Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition. I always get it mixed up, but um, yeah,
Super Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition.
yeah, it's.
Is that what it
I think
is?
the thing that mixes me up is it Champion or Champions Edition? That's what I always get confused on.
See, I think I misspoke and I said Championship Edition. But
Championship, that might be it too. See, the title
okay.
always confuses me for that game. But yeah, I have my original copy from when I was a kid, and I was the same way. I would go in my sister's room because she had the biggest CRT TV we had, and I would hook up my Sega Genesis, and I would just play Ryu, and I would always die at Guile stage.
Oh man, I really got attached to Lei Fang
Uh-huh.
because my dad is a big Bruce Lee fan.
Oh, nice.
So it was perfect. That and
Yes.
Cammy for obvious reasons.
So yeah, Guilty Gear Strive looks awesome. If you pre-order the game for PS4 or PS5, you'll have access to the open beta. I want to play it. Do you want to play it?
Hell yeah.
Okay, let's play it then.
Well, are we gonna have a situation where you're gonna buy it on Switch?
Dude, I would not buy a fighting game on Switch.
So I don't know if anyone remembers. I'm just gonna put Geo on blast real quick. But we were supposed to play Captain Tsubasa, the soccer game, football, depending on where you're from,
Football.
and I bought it on PS4. We both said we're gonna buy it on PS4. Geo freaking ordered it on Switch,
Yeah.
so we never got to play it together.
And then
And
we both
honestly,
ended up not liking it.
exactly, it was really frustrating.
Because it turned out to be a soccer game. We thought it was going to be like Dragon Ball Fighters, where it was like over the top, like craziness, and there is
Exactly.
some in there, but it turns out it's more
You gotta,
like a soccer.
there's a lot of mid game.
Yes.
And the mid game is literally moving the ball from one side to the other,
Yeah.
and kind of like that tug of war where you're going in between goals.
Yes, and it's
And I wanted it all to be flashy moves and crazy kicks and
Yeah.
eagles coming out of nowhere.
and it's all very rock paper scissors like.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but yeah, luckily Captain Tsubasa was not charged with sexual assault in Chile. If you don't know what we're talking about, we did an episode
Check out our
on that.
last
Yeah.
week's episode.
Okay. All right. So Guilty Gear Strive, definitely
Looks awesome.
we have our eye on that game. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
If anything, this makes me want to go ahead and beat one of the fighting games that I've recently purchased. Like I did beat Kill la Kill If.
Okay.
And that's also Arc System Works. And that was very story centric because it was kind of like a side story to the original anime.
Okay.
And I liked it a lot. I thought it was fantastic. So
Okay. All right.
what's next?
This is for you.
Ooh. Oh snap.
The Konami code unlocks a hidden Castlevania tribute in Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Oh man, I'm welling up.
So let's look at this. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night has witnessed a significant post-launch support. In its most recent update, it was a big update, bringing us a crossover with Kingdom 2 Crowns alongside Classic Mode. The latter featuring an 8-bit retro aesthetic. As it turns out, we've been missing a pretty big secret this whole time within Classic Mode's menu. Inputting the famous Konami code here grants access to Bloodstained's new 1986 mode, a reference to Castlevania's original launch year. Once done, 1986 mode appears on the screen, also giving Miriam a new outfit when you play. So yeah, there was a hidden Konami code in the game, which is tribute to Castlevania.
Did you use that word on purpose?
Yeah.
Humans who pay me tribute.
So yeah,
This is awesome.
that's
This
pretty
is really
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
So, I haven't actually revisited Bloodstain since I beat the crap out of it when it first came
Hmm.
out. I love it, and I loved Curse of the Moon. I'm still waiting for Curse of the Moon 2 to be released from limited run.
Yeah, I believe it's only
As
digital right now, right? Yeah.
correct. And limited run is also going to be releasing the Castlevania collection.
We talked about that. We talked if they get that, I'm totally getting that because
Yeah.
that's awesome.
So I'm a very big Castlevania fan. I'm super excited for those physical editions, and I've been meaning to go back to Bloodstained and play. If anything, I was a backer on
Hmm.
Kickstarter, and I really appreciate the attention and support that they've given Bloodstained. But at the same time, and I hope this doesn't seem so greedy of me, but like I'm like concerned for Koji Igarashi and his company. Like I hope that they're still, looking forward to maybe making another game
Hmm.
in the series, or looking forward to building another game, because I don't know how it is in terms of their returns of supporting this game so long after it's already been released.
Yeah, and instead of releasing another like Bloodstain,
Banger.
yeah, well they've been doing for those that are familiar with Curse of the Moon. Those are more retro styled pixel games.
Well, they're not even developed by Koji Igarashi's team.
Yeah.
They're developed by, shoot, I'm totally missing. It starts with an I. I forget the developer's name,
Okay.
but they also developed, I think, the Gunvolt games.
Oh yes.
They're great. They're great at making these kinds of
Yeah.
games. I'm totally blanking out on the name. Jeez Louise, I'm gonna look it up. I have to look it up.
Okay.
But either way, they're not being developed. They're being developed in tandem rather than,
Okay. So you want them to make a
from the
new Bloodstained Ritual game, like Bloodstained Ritual 2. That's what you want.
that, or whatever Koji Igarashi's team wants to do
Okay.
next. Like I'm concerned that
Okay. Okay.
Inti Creates is the developer behind Curse of the Moon, but I'm concerned about the longevity, or the well-being,
Hmm.
the health of his company, his developing company, and
Yeah.
the future of whatever games they have. Because I mean, yes, totally love all the support that they're doing for it, but there is a cutoff time, and you have to look towards the future, and I
Yeah.
want to know kind of what that future looks like.
Yes. I would say that they're still on the right path because a lot of people don't realize and you have to think of game development as anything else. When you open a new studio and you make your first game, if you're lucky like him, you have name recognition already. If you're unlucky, nobody knows who you are. You have to build that credibility. It's not easy. You have to get players to trust you. And they're in a position now where, I mean, you're a loyal fan. There's many
Yes.
people like you that are loyal fans. So I think as long as they put out a quality game, they don't have to rush it. I think they'll be okay. I hope so. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, like I said, the thing that's it's not coming from in nowhere because of the state of the world,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So I was concerned for my boy Hideo Kojima,
Y-
and after Death Stranding didn't get the reception that I thought it deserved.
Yes, but to
Um,
be fair, I believe they made a profit, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And it's gorgeous on PC. It is ridiculous on
yeah,
PC.
I know,
And
man. I don't want to buy it again, man. I don't I don't want to
my
buy it.
friend my friend, he made this insane rig, and he is able to play like max settings,
Oh shit.
everything.
Yeah, I don't think
It
I could do
looked
that.
it looked insane. I was like, oh, I'm in the game. Games will never get better than this. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But still, like if you looked at the making of Death Stranding, Hideo Kojima, he had a hard time finding funding to assist before even Sony was able to step in and say, yeah, we're going to help.
Yeah.
So yes, you are correct in terms of getting that support and that notoriety and the consumer goodwill.
Hmm.
But at the same time, uh, what does the future look like? What is coming down the pipeline? And is that something that people will be able to support and allow this company to grow and flourish?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah, if you get I like you said, it's awesome when a company continues to support their game, but they still need a revenue system to keep, or a revenue stream to keep the doors open and the lights on. So hopefully they
Exactly.
are working on something. Hopefully they
Yeah.
are. Yeah. All right.
I look forward to it.
Yes. Are you going to try out that Konami code?
Hell yeah. I just need to break out my copy of Bloodstained. Literally, I just beat Persona 5 Royal last night,
Oh, okay.
and that game's incredible. But the next game I was going to play, and this actually goes back to the Kingdom Hearts
Hmm.
conversation we had earlier. I finally got my
Oh,
Game Boy Advance IPS screen Kingdom Hearts
nice.
shell
So
on there.
you gave him permission to take it off?
No. I ordered a new
Oh,
screen.
okay, okay. Yeah.
So this is the updated screen.
Okay.
and it looks fantastic. And I started playing Final Fantasy V
Nice. Nice.
last night on it, and I was like, from one JRPG to another, like I just couldn't stop. But it looks so incredible with that IPS screen.
Yeah.
Not even kidding.
S-
I was like blown away.
So for those that don't know, which you wouldn't know until we told you, I gave him a IPS screen Game Boy Advance for Christmas, and
Great gift.
yeah, he wanted to swap out the case, but the issue was that when you install the new IPS screen, it sticks, and you would have to damage it to get it off. So he had to kind of rebuild it a new one. But they're awesome. I mean, I love my IPS. I have an SP, but man, the screen is so nice.
Oh, it's crisp.
Yeah. All right. So last up, we have more news about Black Myth Wukong.
I still haven't seen this
Oh
trailer.
yeah. It's 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 not as long as the first one, but you can see that the game is becoming more polished.
Well, the first one was actual gameplay, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is gameplay play too, but it's only a 3 minute video.
Okay. Yeah, the previous one was like close to 10.
Yeah, this is more of a targeted. So they don't have much in this article, but I'll just tell you guys. Essentially, it's like it shows Wukong and the main character, and it shows him fighting like various types of enemies, and then at the end, he fights kind of like a boss that's like a two-headed rat, like he's like a
Okay.
giant two-headed rat, and then but it's like when you watch it, it's just the world is so detailed, man. Like the animals are so detailed, the characters are so detailed, the enemies are so detailed. And one thing I noticed about the trailer was they showed off a bunch of defensive mechanics in this trailer. So they showed off a bunch of things that he can do defensively, like he has like a shield. He can turn into like a big like uh, kind of like ogre looking dude with a rock.
Okay.
He so that so I appreciated they showed the defensive mechanics of the game, and so uh, what I think we're gonna have is we're gonna have a more detailed and more complex battle system than a lot of other action RPGs that have been coming out lately. That kind of like kind of do the streamline approach. It looks like
Okay.
they're going with a very unique battle system, which I think is great. I think.
Would you say, and I'm saying this because of your recent foray into the game, Devil May Cry
Mhm.
5? What's the comparison there? Would you say it's like akin to something like Devil May Cry 5 in terms of the complexity of combat, or what would you compare it to in terms of, so just to get an idea of what you're saying?
Yeah, I would say to me, and to what they're saying, it looks like an action RPG. So I would say,
I mean, you're currently also playing Breath of the Wild.
yeah.
That's an action RPG.
So I would say it might be stylish and over the top like Devil May Cry, but then the core gameplay might be like more like an action RPG, like The Witcher or Ghost of Tsushima or something like that. But I can only speculate from the videos. I will say this though, the game, you do see noticeable slowdown, which is to be expected because they're basically running this engine unoptimized right now.
Yes.
So the game's gonna they said, the studio said the game's supposed to release in 2023. So there's still some time before the game comes out, but I would say they've already done a great job in building interest for this game. I mean, this will be the first AAA Chinese game to basically go release across the world. So I would say they're doing a good job so far. Keep the clips coming, and as long as they can optimize the engine, I think the game should be good.
Cool.
Yeah. So
I need to check that out.
what?
I need to check that out.
Okay. So yeah, that's it for this week, everyone. We just hit 1 hour and 21 minutes. So I'm sure no one's here right now. But if you are, please like and subscribe and comment. We get a lot of commenters lately, and I think it's great. So yeah, we really appreciate that. And we're coming up on 100 subs.
Hey, look at
Yeah,
that.
we're coming up on 100 subs. So when we do 100 subs, we will
We're gonna give away a car.
a Matchbox car.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say like a small car. Like this is the car.
No, but seriously, I'm thinking about ideas for a just kind of like a special video. Not anything like celebrating ourselves, but like just a different type of content, which was what I was thinking of. So, but I'll let you guys know when we hit 100. And thanks for everyone who subbed. And yeah.
Thanks for the support.
Yeah, thanks for the support. And that's it. So
thanks.
yeah, have a
Keep
good
gaming.
Yeah, keep on gaming and have a great week. See you next time.